What's up, guys? We're back. So let's talk a little bit about what we got going on. We've been busy these last couple days getting some stuff together and planning out some builds, some projects and whatnot. And let me go ahead and show you what we got going on. All right, so right here, we're working on these. We got a super rare set of JDM Auto Couture VIP wheels, custom offsets, super wide in the back, super nice wheels. The inner barrels have been powder coated black already. The outers were polished pretty good. They did a good job. The problem is they didn't fix a lot of this rash, I think, right here on the edge the way I would have done it. So we're gonna go ahead and get these cleaned up real good. We're gonna repaint the centers, clean up all the rash, polish them back out, and get those ready to go on something. Not sure yet, but we'll add them to our stockpile of wheels we got in the back. Also on these wheels, so they have a real specific, I don't know if you can see that, bolt that holds these three-piece wheels together. Of course, it's missing some bolts. Some of them are broken, so we're gonna go with some different bolts in it, but that way it'll have cleaned up, nice new bolts all the way around in these wheels. So it'll be ready for somebody's VIP ride, whether we end up building one or, I mean, let's be real. I store wheels forever. I'm the wheel collector. They'll probably just sit on the shelf. All right, then over here, we just picked this up. RX8, it's got the rotary 13B. It hasn't been running in quite a while. It's been sitting. The paint's gotten kind of faded on it. Of course, it has carbon fiber hood here. You can see it's been in the weather, right? So the gel coat's, it's cracked up pretty bad. We need to try and buff it out, see if we can save it. We all know, look, those cracks probably aren't gonna come out. Luckily, the cracks of these fins still look look nice. These fins have got no cracks in them. The clear has held up pretty well on those, aside from getting just tarnished real bad. So probably what we'll do, I've done it on a lot of cars I've built, is we'll get this whole thing sanded down, and then we'll paint everything body color, but we'll buff out these vents so you'll still see that carbon fiber look, but have a painted hood. And that way it'll cover up all these imperfections and stuff that the sun's kind of baked into it. Right here, I tried to buff it out. I had some light scratch remover compound. It definitely isn't gonna do the trick on this hood. We may try to get some of my 3M, that real good buffing compound, and see if we can't get it to come out and see what it looks like. But for now, that's what it's at right now. It's really not a bad car, aside from sitting outside for so long. It's got these VIP modular wheels on it. Of course, they've seen better days. We'll get those off, get them stripped down, get them painted, get this body looking right, get it cleaned up. It's gonna have to get repainted, so we'll get it repainted. And then of course, we'll do a bunch of JDM touches and whatnot, get it running good, get it screaming with a rotary in it. Maybe a rotary, I don't know. We're thinking maybe LS, maybe an LS, we'll see. It's fully loaded. It's got leather, it's got the factory nav. It is a fucking manual car, which is nice. And then when I was doing some inspecting and checking it out, we found this little goodie box. It's got some Haltech action in it, unknown tune, but we'll get that all sorted and get it figured out. Does feel like the motor is seized up. I think probably more than likely carbon seized. So we're gonna, probably in the next couple days, we'll get it over here on the lift, get it up in the air, do a real good inspection on it, take all the plugs out, inspect those, look at them real good. I think we'll flood the motor, we'll flood it with some carb cleaner, let it sit for a little while, get it back on the ground, put it in gear, rock it back and forth, and see if we can't get that motor broke loose, and see if we can't at least get it to fire up. I still think the motor's bad, probably bad apex seals. Maybe an apex seal is let go, hopefully not. But either way, we will try to get it running and see how it runs. But more than likely, no, not more than likely, it is going to get a new motor of some sort. And of course, we went through it, we pulled all this stuff. A lot of this stuff was given to me with the car. It had a system in it, we pulled that out, and we'll do all that better than new. Not a bad system at the time, but we can do a little cleaner setup and get it looking a little bit nicer. All right, we got the Razor up here. Of course, we did some stuff on it. In the last video, we have some more stuff for it. I do have a rock light kit for it, and then we're gonna get away from the rocker switches that it has currently and do a Switch Pros box in it, so it'll be a little bit easier and cleaner to run wires, add accessories in the future. That way this thing's ready for springtime when we really get out ripping in that sucker. All right, and then over here, we have the blue car is a 1968 Datsun 510 station wagon. The white car is a 1969 Datsun 510 station wagon. So long story short, the white car I was building for SEMA. stripped it down, went through it. No rust, got it all perfect, did the floors, prepped everything, sound deadening, full suspension front, redid all the suspension in the rear. We did, eliminated a leaf, reverse flipped the leaves, blocks, air shocks in the back, full coilovers up front, all metal heim joints, full custom control arms, the whole 9 yards. Like we were going out on this car. Well, when they did the body work, it wasn't the greatest. It had a slight damage in the rear, on the driver's side. I don't want to knock it, but it wasn't repaired to my standard. So with that being said, still not a bad car, just too much Bondo for me. We were still going to finish it. We were going to build it out regardless, just to have a real fun driver. But then once it got painted and it sat for a little while, we started noticing that in the paint, maybe you can't see it from here, the car's dusty, it's been sitting for a minute. The paint started to yellow. Not sure what happened when the painter was painting it, but somehow the paint started yellowing. So end of the day, right, needs a new paint job. So with that being said, I wasn't sure what to do with the car. We did the motor swap, partially, it's in there. SR20 DET out of an S15. It's a Spec R motor with a 6-speed. We started doing the top mount conversion. And then up here on the shelves, we got all kinds of parts for it, right? A hoarder of parts. But we were ready to go. We were ready to get ripping on this car. Now what we're gonna do, I was able to buy this rolling shelf from a buddy of mine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap everything over to that car. This car's another rust-free car, super good shape. So I have everything ready to go. I'm waiting on all my seals and some custom parts from Datsun out of Australia. They're my go-to guys always when I'm building these 510s. They got everything you need, man. Seals, parts galore. They're my go-to. So I ordered a bunch of stuff right in the middle of COVID. Australia was shut down harder than anybody else. It's kind of put a damper on getting in things. So hopefully soon that stuff's gonna roll in. I've already ordered all the paint. I have all the paint supplies and everything in the house. I'm gonna pull this motor out of the white car and we're gonna put it in that car. We're gonna pull all the suspension, put it in that car. We'll swap all the stock stuff over here. And then we're gonna get this car to rip in hopefully for a SEMA 2023 debut. I say debut. In the past, I've built cars for SEMA. I usually don't tell nobody about it. We just do it, we build them, we finish them, and then we debut them at SEMA as a surprise. This time we'll probably do more of some footage. We're gonna do some episodes. You'll see the build process, see how I kind of do things, how I like to put my own style on it. With that said, we're taking this stuff out, putting it over there. We'll probably throw this car together as a good roller, and I'm probably gonna sell this car. I'm not gonna fix the paint. It's just gonna go as it is. So be looking for that in the future. Also, when I do sell it, I may sell it. If you look back there in the corner, I got a KA24DE that can go in this car. It's had all the emission deleted off of it. I got a brand new clutch, flywheel, everything for that car, that motor ready to go. And more than likely, when I do sell this car, I will probably swap, I'll pull the cross member out of this car because this cross member will have to get swapped over. So when you swap these motors into these, the old Datsun's has a rear sump oil pan. All these new modern motors from Nissan have a front sump. So I'll pull this out, I'll cut it, I'll flip it, I'll paint it up, get it looking clean again, weld it up, paint it, swap it into this car, put that motor in this car so it'll have a partially swapped, ready to go fucking motor, and then we'll sell that car. We don't know how much for. Look, 510s are catching a premium right now, but we'll go ahead and get that car probably listed, hopefully, gosh, I don't know, to be honest, 2, 3, 4 months. But that car's probably gonna go. We're gonna let her go. And then of course up here, like I said, I store everything. I got Recaros, R33 GTR Series 3, front seats with the red stitching, man, wheels for days. Factory RX8 wheels, some cheap aftermarket wheels I use for rollers, wheel boxes for when I do find wheels, so I have them in boxes, miscellaneous wheels just for rollers, a mint set of SA3Rs staggered with all original hardware, clips, coins, the 3D printed wrench on top of it, but I also have the original Yokohama wrench. I keep that in the house in a display case. Another set of Gen 1 3-star Advans that are in boxes there. They are 2-piece, partially disassembled. I was in the middle of refurbing those because they were gonna go on one of these wagons. and then they just made their way back to box, so I have those as well. So that's kind of what we're working with here in the shop right now. I'm also going to take delivery of another car tomorrow, another project car, and we'll do a video on that one. Boys, that's a find. I came across it. I've known about it for a couple years. I didn't tell nobody about it because I wanted to get it for myself. It's a barn find. I've always wanted to find a barn find, and we got us one. So tomorrow we're going to pick that up. But that's all I got right now for today's video. I know we didn't wrench on nothing. We're going to get to wrenching on some stuff, I promise. I'm getting ready to go back to work. I've been out of work for 4 weeks now. I had to have surgery on my wrist, like I'd said. So things might slow down a little bit, but I don't think so. We're gonna be out here in the shop. We got a nice shop. We got insulation. There's no reason we can't be out here working. I got some parts to put on, like I said, my Raptor, my wife's car. I need to do some maintenance on my Bluebird. That'll probably get a video unto itself. That way everybody can kind of be introduced to my JDM right-hand drive. It's a Datsun Bluebird coupe, basically a 510, but not a 510. Right-hand drive, originally from Japan, full resto. Built it for SEMA in 2012, was in a ton of magazines, covers of magazines, but we'll do a full video on that one for you guys. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got. Like, subscribe, share. Please do all the things. We're going to try and make something of this channel. I'm trying hard, guys. So I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time. Also, I forgot to say I had to add this last minute. I totally forgot. I can't forget it's important. So, on this RX8, this was a good friend of ours, Aaron Cherry. He was one of our dear homies, one of our close friends, family. Dude was family. He was in Team Sunworks with all of us. Man, everybody in Sunworks, I can't express enough. Everybody in Sunworks is family. It was a big import car club, still is. We're bringing it back up. This was his car. He unfortunately had lost his life a few years ago, and I had heard about it, broke me and my wife's heart. But anyways, I promised his family we're gonna get this car back up and going. It's gonna look good as hell. And we're doing this in Aaron's honor. So take a second, read down below in the description. We'll talk a little bit more about it. I really encourage you to read it, man. It means a lot to me, my family, and definitely his family. But anyways, thanks again.